I'm happy to welcome you today, Marty, and have this showcase of experts includes you. What I'm going to do is first introduce you so that then people can get a sense and get excited about what you're going to share today. Marti MacEwan is a longtime professional counselor and coach with a specialty in overcoming stage fright, performance anxiety, and the fear of public speaking. Marti had severe stage fright herself and figured out how to eliminate it. She loves being able to say, I used to have stage fright, but I don't anymore. As a result, she has developed a unique method for overcoming any kind of stage fright in any setting. Marti is author of the book, The Stage Fright Cure, and the Stage Fright Cure online course, and coaches privately. She is also the co-developer of something called the Rapid Relief Process, which is a cornerstone of the Stage Fright Cure. She offers a free 2-hour online class teaching the Rapid Relief Process called Rapid Relief from Stress and Distress. Oh, Marti, I can't wait to hear more.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me as a part of this project. It's such a great project to give people a lot of different perspectives and ideas about what to do about their anxiety, whether it's performance anxiety or any other kind. So thanks for having me here.
Yes. Yes. So the idea is to just share briefly. I know we could probably spend an hour or two just sharing our experiences working with clients who have anxiety around speaking. But what would you say, and what can you offer somebody who might be listening who has that kind of anxiety?
Well, I've of course been thinking about what I was going to say when you asked me that question, which is fun in itself to be able to really zero in on one thing that I would say. I think the first foundational suggestion I have is to learn how to regard your anxiety objectively and observationally. Most of us, at least I'm talk about my experience, was so overtaken by it that it just felt like it was out of the blue. There wasn't anything I could do about it. I couldn't think straight. There was no time to really take a moment and realize that there was something going on within me that wasn't me, because it all felt so much like me. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I do. And I
Yeah. So there's a term mindfulness that's being um, shared around a lot, and it's very similar to mindfulness in the sense that you are not the person who is the stage fright, but the person who is having a reaction that's going on within your system that comes from somewhere. It's being triggered by something, but it isn't a part of your character. It isn't a personality flaw. It's something that's happening that you can observe and be objective about, and that's the foundation for being able to figure out what to do about it.
I like that there's a first step that you're
Yeah,
noting.
yeah. And that first step with performance anxiety or stage fright or fear of public speaking is to realize that, as I said, it's not just random out of the blue. There's something emotional that's being triggered, a fight, flight, or freeze response of some kind that's being triggered by something in your perceptual framework, right? Your inner architecture somehow. And for so many people over the years that I've been working with performers and speakers and business people and so on, it very often goes back to incidents that happened way early, not necessarily infancy, but certainly when our social self-concept starts to develop, which is like middle school, elementary school, high school, where we decide who we are in the world,
Mm-hmm.
where we decide what's safe or what's not safe for us in the world. And then when those um, elements of our inner world get triggered, we get reminded of that. That's when that fight, flight, or freeze response comes up. If you can regard it objectively, like, oh, that's what's happening, then you have more of a chance to have a remedy, a way of addressing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first part of being objective about it is to know that it comes from somewhere, and it comes from somewhere uniquely in you as an individual. It isn't just a bolt of the blue, and it isn't your grandmother's anxiety. it's something that is being triggered within you, so that you can do something about it. And the second, I think, part of the objectivity is to realize what's going on in your body when that happens, right? And it's your amygdala. A lot of people will or won't know what an amygdala is, but it's a part of your brain that actually is the arbiter of fear in your brain. And when you perceive something that unconsciously or consciously triggers a fear response, it's your amygdala that's firing off. So I'm very fond of saying it isn't you that has stage fright.
Mhm.
It's your amygdala that
Mhm.
has stage fright.
Mhm.
It in your brain is firing off likely unnecessarily. So that gives us another inroad into a remedy, which is to find ways to calm that amygdala response. So then it doesn't send off the signal for your body to go into fight, flight, or freeze, which is all those uncomfortable stage fright symptoms. And then you don't have stage fright because your arousal system just doesn't trigger off. And you can be comfortable and confident and pay attention to other things.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like what you were going to say,
Mhm.
or what the lyrics of the song are, or whatever it might be.
Mhm.
I would say, long-winded, the first step is to get to that objective place so that at least you have a chance of finding a remedy rather than just being taken over by it and calling it the luck of the draw or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the approach that you're talking about, first just noticing it, feels like that also applies to what you said about the amygdala, that, oh, okay, there's a separation, there's a distance from the actual, that's all me. I can't
Yes.
control it. But if
Yes.
it's a part of you, then it feels like what you're saying is
Yeah.
there's distance from it, and
Mm-hmm.
the
And if there's
observer.
no distance, then it is just me.
Hmm.
Means there's something wrong with me. But no, it's a triggered response that you can actually address and do something about. An analogy about that is, I say, is, if I have a pain in my thumb, well, it's over there, this pain in my thumb. I can be much more objective about a pain in my thumb because it's not taking me overall, everywhere. It's over there. And likely I can go, oh, I have a pain in my thumb. Oh yeah, that's because I hit it with a hammer yesterday. Right. Well, I guess I won't do that again. But you can attribute it to something
Hmm.
when you're objective about it, and then you can do something about it, whether it needs treatment or just letting it heal, or whatever you decide that intervention will or won't be about it.
One quick question before
Sure,
we end.
sure.
With the amygdala, you said that there are ways to, because I think that's the one where it's just going crazy. And
Yes,
even though we might have distance, it's like,
it's still
okay,
going crazy.
amygdala. Yeah.
Yeah, be quiet, we're all right.
Uh,
Well, there's all kinds of levels. I mean, I think that um well, in the stage fright cure, the first element is to get objective. The second element is to create safety. But when you think about it as creating safety, not for you, but for your amygdala,
uh-huh.
then you pay attention to what triggers your amygdala and what doesn't, and do the best you can to arrange things or think about things in certain ways, or do some physical things that will help calm down that amygdala. But those are strategies that help, short term.
Yeah.
Uh, but to really disconnect the amygdala response, uh, the intervention that I use is the rapid relief process,
Uh-huh.
which comes from energy psychology. I don't know if you're familiar with that whole. It's a whole branch of psychology that connects our physical and energetic, meaning electrical responses, from our perception. So it all started with Roger Callahan, Ph.D., who started something called thought field therapy. And he found that if he intervened with the energy system in certain ways, meaning the meridian system of acupuncture, while somebody was concentrating or paying attention to a phobia they had, the phobia disappeared. Because you're not intervening on that level where you're just trying to talk yourself into not being afraid.
Yes.
You're literally going in from the system to the amygdala, so that mind-body loop the arousal gets disconnected. And then what happens is that when the same triggers happen, lo and behold, the same reaction doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So like a fear of heights, for instance, the only reason somebody would say that they had a fear of heights is that when they go up off the ground, they have certain physical sensations. Yes?
Yes.
So if we can intervene with the system and disconnect those physical sensations from the perception of a fear of heights, then when the person goes up off the ground, they don't have those sensations, and they wouldn't say they had a fear of heights. Or actually, they'd say, I used to have a fear of heights, but I don't.
Like you said in the introduction, I used to have stage fright. I don't anymore.
And that's the truth.
Yeah, that is the truth. I saw it when you said it. And that's the other thing I think about people finding their voice. The truth is what's I think the truth is what we resonate with in folks rather than
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
pretense.
That genuineness that people
Yes.
bring.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
You and I were chatting earlier real quick, and I was saying I do some public speaking training, and also when I'm working with performers and singers, that's the place we want to get to, that we're not all balled up in our fear. We're actually free enough to be sincere in what we're saying
yeah,
and truthful in
yeah.
what we're saying. And I think that's the energy that I think our audiences want to experience from us.
Well, that's a wonderful last line. Thank you, Marti. And again, where can people find you?
Yes, my website is at stagefright.com. Love you to go check out my work there. And I also mentioned in the introduction, or you mentioned in the introduction, was I offer a free class called Rapid Relief from Stress and Distress. It's a 2-hour class that demonstrates these techniques, the rapid relief process, but it doesn't have to do with stage fright or performing. It's anything that is causing you stress or distress in your life. And I actually started offering it for free because of all of the turmoil that we're all going through in these times.
Oh, thank you.
It's extremely effective. And I hope people will go to stagefright.com and look at the possibility of going to that class for free, because it can
Oh,
really help.
well, that's generous. Thank you so much, Marti.
Thank you.
Yeah.